FCW Leakee. Roman Reigns debuted in WWE's developmental program, Florida Championship Wrestling, in 2010 as Leakee, a quiet, clean-cut prospect with black trunks and a babyface smile. In FCW, he was surrounded by future stars. He had early matches with Seth Rollins, Big E Langston, and even Dean Ambrose. The Shield was already circling, but nobody realized it yet. This version was the blueprint. Not the arrival, just the quiet beginning. NXT Roman Reigns. In early 2012, he made a blink and you'll miss it stop in NXT, now as Roman Reigns. He carried quiet confidence and picked up quick wins. This was a quick final tune-up because within months, he'd be called up to the main roster. And he wouldn't be alone. The Shield Roman. Then he showed up in black. Survivor Series 2012. The Shield crashed the main event. 3 unknowns in tactical vests. Roman Reigns didn't talk much. He didn't have to. He was the muscle, the enforcer. Rollins flew, Ambrose ranted, and Roman powerbombed his opponents into oblivion. They entered through the crowd, backed by a haunting siren. In the ring, Roman was a spear machine, focused and devastating. He broke the Royal Rumble record in 2014 with 12 eliminations. The Shield steamrolled Cena, Bryan, Evolution, and the Wyatt family. This version wasn't built to be loved. It was built to dominate. Future world champion was written all over him. It seemed like a matter of when, not if. Babyface Roman. Then WWE pulled the trigger. The Shield imploded. Roman went solo, and the company pushed him to the moon, whether fans liked it or not. He kept the vest, added his own logo, still entered through the crowd, still hit the Superman punch and that spear. But now, he talked, and fans hated it. This version was WWE's golden boy, the hand-picked face of the company. He beat Randy Orton, went toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar, and main-evented WrestleMania after WrestleMania. But no matter how many titles he won, WWE Champion, United States Champion, the reactions never matched the booking. Boos. Relentless boos. Not because he was entirely bad, but because he felt forced. Sure, his promos needed work. The infamous Suffer and Succotash promo was an example of that. But the main problem was that fans didn't want another Super Cena. Still, Roman delivered in the ring. He had wars with AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, Triple H, proved he could hang with the best of them. But the problem wasn't the in-ring work, it was the packaging. This version of Roman had all the tools, but none of the freedom. He was built to be loved. Instead, he became the most controversial star in the company. The Big Dog Roman. So WWE tried changing the messaging. April 3rd, 2017. On the Raw, after beating The Undertaker at WrestleMania 33, Roman made his way into the ring under a barrage of boos. Roman sucks, and go away chants broke out. Fans let him hear it for 2 minutes straight before he said anything. And when he finally spoke, he only had 5 words for them. "This is my yard now." He dropped the mic and slowly walked back up the ramp under more boos. And just like that, the Big Dog era was born. His gear started evolving. Same vest, but now with red or blue outlines and custom logos. He no longer came through the crowd. He had a traditional entrance with his logos and catchphrases all over the LED screens. He carried himself differently. A little more edge, more swagger. The crowd still booed, but now he leaned into it a bit more. He had classic promo battles in his feud with John Cena. He beat The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. He had underrated bangers with Samoa Joe, Bobby Lashley, and Braun Strowman. In a feud that turned Roman into a crash test dummy and kept fans invested, whether they cheered or not. At SummerSlam 2018, Reigns defeated Brock Lesnar to win the Universal Championship. The Big Dog era didn't completely win the audience over either, but it sharpened Roman's edge. The forced hero was slowly starting to fade. The real Roman was clawing his way out. Leukemia returned Roman. Then, real-life hit. In October 2018, Roman Reigns walked to the ring and told the world his leukemia had returned. He relinquished the title, dropped the character, dropped the wall. For the first time in years, everyone was behind him. The crowd chanted his real name. Wrestlers broke character. Roman Reigns wasn't a polarizing star anymore. He was a human being fighting for his life. And when he returned, months later, the reaction was pure love. This version of Roman was humble, grateful, a real-life superhero who didn't need to prove anything anymore. He trimmed down slightly, but the gear stayed the same. Vest, gloves, logo intact. In 2019, he was drafted to SmackDown in the Superstar Shakeup and would deliver for the Blue brand weekly. He teamed with Rollins and Ambrose to reunite the Shield once again. Feuded with Vince and Shane McMahon. Teamed with The Undertaker. This version didn't have a title belt, but it had respect, and that was something even his loudest critics couldn't deny. And then, in 2020, Roman disappeared again. But this time, he didn't come back the same. Pandemic-era Roman. SummerSlam 2020. The Fiend defeats Braun Strowman for the Universal title, and then gets speared out of his boots. It's Roman, vest gone, teeth gritted, t-shirt reading, "Wreck everyone and leave." This wasn't just a new shirt, it was a total reset. Then the final piece snapped into place. Paul Heyman, the former advocate for Brock Lesnar, now serving as special counsel to Roman Reigns. Roman dropped the vest for good and began wrestling shirtless. The demeanor, cold, calculated, violent. At Payback, he returned mid-match, he signed the contract on his way out to the ring, speared Strowman, and walked out champion. This version marked the end of Roman Reigns as we knew him, and the beginning of something far more dangerous. The head of the table, tribal chief. Then he said the words, "Acknowledge me." And a new era officially began. Roman was no longer fighting for acceptance. He was demanding obedience. The presentation was cinematic. New epic theme, slow, aura-filled entrances. And the storytelling? Peak WWE. He gaslit his cousin Jey Uso into joining him, then manipulated Jimmy. He stacked and pinned Edge and Daniel Bryan at the same time at WrestleMania 37. Survived Kevin Owens in a last man standing match. Took out Finn Balor. By the end of 2021, Roman Reigns had held the Universal Championship longer than anyone, and the run was just getting started. God Mode Roman. Then came the shirt. Greatness on a different level. Roman Reigns wasn't just winning, he was floating above the roster. God Mode Roman unified the WWE and Universal titles at WrestleMania 38, beating Brock Lesnar and officially becoming WWE's undisputed king. He started entering with both belts, flanked by Paul Heyman, the Usos, and later Solo Sikoa. Sami Zayn wormed his way into the bloodline and into the fans' hearts as well. The aura was undeniable. Roman beat Logan Paul in Saudi, knocked off LA Knight, was untouchable on TV. But then, cracks started forming. Kevin Owens kept pushing against the bloodline and Sami Zayn, and the Royal Rumble betrayal that came next felt Shakespearean. Roman went on to put on a classic with Sami at Elimination Chamber in Montreal. The bloodline continued to crumble, but Roman powered through it all, defeating Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39 to retain his titles. Every single match felt like a WrestleMania main event. Roman Reigns was invincible. Until he wasn't. Original Tribal Chief. WrestleMania 40. Cody finishes the story. Roman's historic 1,316-day reign. Over. And just like that, the Tribal Chief vanished. For months, there was no sign of Roman Reigns. Meanwhile, Solo Sikoa declared himself the new head of the table, held Paul Heyman hostage, and ran the new bloodline like a mafia boss until SummerSlam 2024. Roman returned in an OTC shirt, standing for Original Tribal Chief, and the pop was thunderous. No slow entrance this time. He marched to the ring with fire in his eyes, locked in on Solo. Superman punch, spear, the crowd losing their minds. Roman and Solo would go on to feud, ending with Roman eventually taking back the Ula Fala. At WrestleMania 41, Roman stepped into a triple threat with Seth Rollins and CM Punk. And then things took a turn. Paul Heyman betrayed Roman. The man who was once special counsel to the tribal chief now helped Seth steal the win. Roman disappears again until July 2025. Reigns returned on Monday Night Raw, demolishing Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker, standing tall over the wreckage as the crowd exploded once again. OTC Roman is a living legend, and he's finally receiving the one thing he was denied by fans for years. Genuine, thunderous, earned love. Please like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.